Risk is a perfect pop song. It is
Say that louder. No.
perfect pop
you.
song.
Thank you
It is
so much.
so good. I
Thank
played it
you.
nonstop.
Thanks.
I will admit though, in the music video, you terrified me for a second.
That's the goal.
Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
Is it the crawl?
This is your Audacy check-in at the Hard Rock Hotel, New York with Gracie Abrams.
Hi.
We have so much to celebrate. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you've had a busy past few weeks. The Met Gala. You looked you looked beautiful at that.
Thank you.
Did you have a chance to meet any fellow artists that were kind of on the bucket list to hang out with?
I hung out a bit with Troy Sivan, and
Cool.
he's just so kind and rad, and spoke to Charlie also for a little while, and she's epic and had the coolest hair.
Yeah.
It's all spiky, so to see that up close was rad. But it was really special to watch Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo sing together. It was just like
Tell me
level.
every emotion and feeling that was going on in your body while you were witnessing
It's just hard to understand how there are human beings capable of what they are capable of, and watching them together was such magic. So I honestly, that is not an environment that I am used to being in by any means, and I didn't understand really the structure of the night, so I didn't know there was going to be a musical performance at all, let alone from two actual legends. So it was rad. I was pinching myself.
So your own music is rad.
Thanks.
Risk is a perfect pop song. It is
Say that louder. No. I'm kidding.
perfect
Thank
pop
you.
song.
Thank you
It is
so much.
so good. I
Thank
played it
you.
nonstop.
Thanks.
I will admit though, in the music video, you terrified me for a second.
That's the goal.
Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
Is it the bed one?
Crawling
Yeah.
across the bed
Good.
when you're about to murder that couple?
Yeah.
Was that like one take? Did you tap into like murderous Gracie Easy?
We did like 2 takes, but
Oh, okay.
yes, it was fun. It was fun. And Charlie, Audrey Hobart, who's my best friend and co-writer on Risk, also directed the video, and this was her directorial debut and the whole thing, and we had a lot of fun with it. And the boy in that scene is her little brother's best friend. So it was like I've grown up knowing him. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah,
in his face, trying to scare the daylights out of him.
It is the song's so good. Has anybody in the industry, Olivia Taylor, anyone heard the album already?
I've played it for some friends, for sure.
Drop names.
I couldn't possibly.
I know Aaron's got to be leaking some stuff to Taylor or something.
No, Aaron doesn't leak. Aaron is a vault. That's why he's family. He's like, no one, keeps things more beautifully, private
I love it.
than Aaron. He's the best.
So what is it about songwriting that makes you feel so comfortable that you could open up about things that you maybe wouldn't even divulge to a best friend in a private conversation,
Well, writing has always been my outlet, and it's always been my instinct when I've had feelings that I don't want to talk to people about to just put it down on paper. I think it's funny. I think like the more life experience I have and the more my personal relationships have deepened and developed, and I've gotten better at like intimacy with people and vulnerability, and it's I feel like my instinct now, I think this album was a pretty significant turning point, just like of tangible proof of my just like personal evolution, which I'm relieved about. Is like I actually am happy to talk about tricky experiences or tougher feelings with people, because it's really, I'm finding, at least for right now, the most effective way to work through things, because I'm lucky to know some really wise people who I have a lot to learn from. So this album is kind of came from real friendship and safe environments to really talk about everything.
I imagine your parents and friends have found out certain things about you, though, through your music, whether it's heartbreak or, I don't know, just your take on something. Is that weird? Like when they...
I know. I don't think it's weird. I'm pretty like you're aware going into it. Like anyone who stumbles upon this will
I'm not just in the studio by myself.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm down. I'm lucky to have, very transparent relationships with my family and my friends. So I'm not really, I'm never scared about them knowing more than I want them to know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the kind of person that's FaceTiming my mom like 5 times every hour,
Aww.
It's like, oh, or is it like, okay. No, she's the greatest. I'm okay with being a bit of an open book with the people in my personal life.
So lyrics first or beat first, production first?
Typically lyrics first, but they kind of happen at the same time for me. I feel like melody, I've had a lot of fun writing more whatever would be considered pop, like kind of with more tempo, just a bit more. I've been looking for earworms, and I feel like that's been a really sweet thing to start with, and that's newer for me because I used to always start with lyrics, and now I think the more that I've gotten into producing, the more I know how to use what I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by in the studio, and then that really helps inform melody. If you find a sound you really like, sometimes it can just trigger like a specific, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I wish there was like a science to it, because then you could kind of nail it every time. But recently it's, these things happen at the same time a bit.
Yeah, totally. Is there a line that almost didn't make it into a song on the album because you were like, maybe I shouldn't write that?
Totally. But actually, I felt like because I was writing with my best friend in a lot of instances on this album, we weren't, that like that like meme of it's like two best friends being like exactly when that was truly what this process was writing. So actually, like, yes, there are lines where you're sort of like, holy shit, I don't like, that's a crazy thing to say. No one's saying that's a crazy thing to say. We're kind of like, that's so funny. Like, let's do that. And that was the whole process with this album, is really being able to not laugh at situations, but through situations.
Yeah.
And being able to like really, laugh at ourselves in the process, because, both Audrey and I love dramatic writing, and we do it outside the context of music as well. And so there's lots of characters in this album that, it's not, there's some exaggeration sometimes, and but starting from seeds of truth, we know each other the best, and I wasn't telling her and she wasn't telling me, we can't say that that's nuts. It was more like, we're laughing like that, how maybe someone else will think it's funny, like, let's include it.
Right. Gracie, congratulations on everything. Your music is phenomenal. You are so talented.
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for having me. It's a real honor to talk to you.
Of course.
Thank you.